playoffs.
Who better? 23-year-old Luka or 23-year-old LeBron? Chill.
Who's better? 23-year-old Luka and 23-year-old. So 23-year-old LeBron. That would be. That would be 08.
Come on, Law.
I think
before the defense really start kicking in. Who's better?
James. I think so.
Boy,
what do you expect him to say? Come on, Lo.
I think that's the right answer though. When is Luka better than Bron? At what points?
Right now, at 23. When they were both 23. Hold on. When they both 23. When they were both 22. When they were both 21. Luka's had more experience, I would say, because Luka came in playing against grown men already. So when he came into the league, that was easy work. If you just look at the numbers, if you look at the numbers and look at the production, Bob, his numbers and production's on the same trajectory as LeBron. Really?
If not higher.
No, yeah, not higher. So the only thing he hadn't done is went to the finals yet, but he got to the Western Conference Finals. Like if he gets to the finals this year, go ahead.
If y'all go off in numbers, it's right there. But I'm gonna go off the eye test too.
Well, we're gonna add that into
I'm gonna take Brown. Why?
Brown. Why?
Well, okay. So if the numbers are similar, right? The numbers are similar. Okay. Well,
they're not. Luka has better, like significantly better numbers.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so
the era is different, but
Luka has significantly better numbers. Yes, there's there's factors that go into that, but he has better numbers. James has athleticism.
And that's where I was going. That's where I was going.
I would say this though. I would say this. Was it year 4 or year 5? LeBron took that Cavs team to the finals.
Year 4.
With a top 5 defense in the league. I wonder what Luka could do with a top 5 defense in the league.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm glad you mentioned that, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Dallas Mavericks were in the top 10 last year in defense last season.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were.
I'm 100% confident they was in the top 10 last year in defense.
Yeah, but they had to go against the number 1 ranked defense in the league and Steph Curry offensively.
Matchups do matter.
Wait. But honestly, what team was better? That Detroit team or last year's Warriors team?
The Detroit Pistons team in 07?
Without Ben Wallace. Which
or that Warriors team?
Yes. Look at Marz.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's going on? What's hesitation?
What is no hesitation, Jim? There's no hesitation.
Chill, you done, man.
Chill, no, why are you still not answering this?
Golden State.
Okay,
Golden State is better. Yeah, Golden State is better. They got a better team.
Okay,
no doubt. I was thinking about.
He was trying to find a way to cap out, Lo. He was
no, I wasn't. I was thinking about that Detroit team. I was thinking about Rashid, and I was thinking about Rip, and that Golden State team.
Thinking about
Rashid was an old 32. Chris Webber was an older 33.
Oh, Webber was over.
Tony McDice was like, he was doing his best Brian McKnight doppelganger. Like, no, that was not.
They were over.
Man was trying to find a new hit. He's trying to make a new hit, man.
Wait,
they were over.
Hey, but wait, so I'm the only one taking Brian.
And chill, you and chill.
You of course chill. You got chill on your side.
No, Marz, you got Luka?
At 23.
Off the top of my head, me just thinking about it, I'd probably lean with LeBron, but I'd want to think about this a bit more.
You wouldn't lean with
LeBron. Don't tell me why I would do.
I know you would. I know you. You'll lean with Luka.
I personally got Bron too.
Oh my God.
That's why you L host.
Oh, are you this high on Luka?
I mean, well, you think LeBron's the same.
At 23, he's averaging 34, 9, and 9.
Listen,
Ron, that's nasty.
LeBron's career went like this. Okay, he came into the league averaging 20 a game, right? And he got better. He had no jump shot. And we already went through all his losses and turbulence and things that he had to do to get to be the best player in the world. Luka came into the league a man already. He was playing pro ball, and you didn't see that leap. So what we're going to see is, will Luka get better? He came into the league better, more ready for the NBA.
Facts.
What happens in the next few years is going to be that determining factor.
So you guys think he's going to continue to get better?
I think maybe.
I don't.
If he gonna get better, oh my goodness! Oh gee.
I don't think he's gonna get better.
Anybody threatening LeBron, he ain't gonna get better.
No, that's not true. Okay, so let's hold on. Go ahead, Tom.
It's for you. It's for you.
Because all Low does is push buttons. If we're gonna talk basketball, let's talk basketball.
I'm gonna ask you a basketball question.
Let's talk basketball.
I'm gonna ask you a basketball question. I'm gonna ask you a basketball question. Ron has other plans, but I'm gonna ask you. If Luka gets more, we know that he has some times when he's forced to take some bad shots. His 3-point shooting has been inconsistent at times. If he gets a secondary player that doesn't allow teams, to focus so much on him, and he has to do something, won't that make him more efficient, which in turn will make him better? So can't he get better?
Well, go ahead, Ox.
No. You got it.
That does make him better, but how much better? Tone, tell everybody in here, because you had this conversation with me how many times. By year 5, how do I? By
year 5, that's who you are. That's
probably who you are. Now you're probably going to have some better seasons moving forward, but by year 5. This is what we should expect from you around something like this. Do I expect Luka to be 35, 9-9 for the next 8-9 years? No, I do not expect that. But I expect something similar to this, like 30, 32 a game, something like that. And I expect better seasons. However, do I expect to see Luka at 38, 39, or for him to get immensely better? I think that's a stretch, because I think that Luka is basically not stuck, but he's close to what he used to be, and especially when he came into the league. This is basically who this dude is. Luka doesn't defend. Luka wants to get back to the basketball. Luka plays with the basketball. He doesn't know how to play without the basketball. His entire game is predicated on him being the primary ball handler.
You just mentioned LeBron. That's LeBron. You just described LeBron. That's LeBron in 23. You just said
I think LeBron was better off the ball, though. At 23, LeBron was better. No, listen to what I'm saying.
How did you ever know that? How would you ever know that? Because when Larry Hughes was running the offense,
who was doing it? When have you ever seen Luka make a back cut? Have you ever seen Luka catch an make a back cut back door, catch an alley-oop? That's what I'm saying. I've never seen Luka do anything without. I've seen him catch and shoot. Yes. Other than that, he doesn't move without the basketball.
LeBron catch and shoot?
At that age, it was suspect. At that age,
it was a no. That's a no.
The difference,
right?
I never said catch and shoot. I'm talking about moving without the basketball. LeBron is hands down better than him at that time. On top of that, on the fast break, LeBron's better on the break.
That's more athletic. That's athleticism. That's
okay. Well,
what the game.
So let's take Luka playing with the basketball. Let's take James playing with the basketball. How much better did James get playing with the basketball over the years, as opposed to not playing with the basketball?
Listen, when we're talking past the age of 23, we're having a different conversation.
Why are we having a different conversation? Because we're talking about Luka's trajectory. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Luka getting better. That's what we're talking about, Tony.
I'll answer it, though, because when LeBron, because the reason why I'm so hell-bent on this is because 2009 is when LeBron really started making drastic changes to his game. He became a much better defender 2009 on forward, and he became a better jump shot shooter as well, slowly, not immediately, right? So in terms of right now, Luka is a noticeably better jump shot shooter with the ball in his hand. Okay. Just noticeably. He's able to create way more than what LeBron was able to do in those early Cavaliers years. That shouldn't even be arguable.
He's able to create.
I gotta argue it. I gotta argue it.
He's able to create more.
I gotta argue it, Lo. I have to, because y'all
what in the world are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about?
He's able to create more.
He can't. What are y'all talking about?
Braun was more of a willing passer. Luka passed when he's forced to pass. Braun's more of a make his teammates type player.
Hey, Lo, are you fighting that, Lo?
What?
Braun was getting criticized for passing the ball.
But how was Luka averaging more assistant?
That's a bold-faced lie.
That's not a lie. That's not a lie.
I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that. No, LeBron was criticized for passing in crucial situations, not during the game.
He was making good passes. Udonis Haslam was a knockdown mid-range shooter. Braun got double teamed and passing.
We're near the first 5 years of his career.
Well, listen, Lo. Just listen, Lo. A lot of times, I'm talking about Haslam. Because LeBron, there was times. Put your hands down and listen. If there was times when Bron was getting criticized for passing the ball to Udonis Haslem, and I know this was past 23. I'm just using this as an example. There were times when Bron was getting criticized because in late game moments he got double teamed and passed the ball to a wide open Udonis Haslem in a mid range shot that Udonis Haslem typically knocks down. He was getting criticized for making good passes to open teammates where they were saying, "Oh, Jordan wouldn't have thought of passing that. He would have went up with that shot."
Late game
but LeBron
throughout the entire game.
It don't matter late game or not, bro. You're supposed to make good basketball plays, Lo.
No,
you can't always just look at stats and be like, oh, he averaged this, he averaged that. You gotta look at
I'm tired of this bullshit, bro.
Be tired of it, bro. Be tired of it. Because I just want you to know that the eye test matters too.
I watch him play.
Okay, well, stop crying, bro. Stop crying. Stop yelling. Listen, I'm saying when you make good basketball plays, there's certain assists. Like I think Ticky, you just said, oh, well, how does he average more assists? It's not. You sometimes when you make an assist, you got to depend on your teammate to make the shot too. It's not just making the pass. A lot of times LeBron was making good basketball plays, Lo. He's not Michael Jordan.
None of that is okay.
If I got it wrong, Fluent, I might be off topic a little bit if that's what you're saying. But that's what I thought we were talking about. I'm saying that I think LeBron was a better playmaker as far as more his willingness to depend on teammates earlier than a lot of superstars were. Like Kobe and Jordan, they had to mature to trust their teammates. I think LeBron was more willing to do that.
Luka.
I'm using other examples. I'm just trying to use references to get you to understand where I'm coming from. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm cool with that. I'm just letting you know what I think. I think that LeBron was more willing to trust his teammates as opposed to, like Luka? I said, Kobe, Jordan, and even Luka. I'll say even Luka because Luka don't trust his teammates. That's why he dribbled the ball for 21 seconds and then passed the ball. He don't want to give that ball up.
Look, on top of that too, when we go with assists, let's keep in mind this Mavericks team scores light years ahead of what that Cavaliers team did too. If that Cavs team was scoring 130 points a game on any given night, well, how many?
But Ron, do you think we got to tell the truth though, Ron. We have to tell the truth about the way LeBron does play. LeBron does hold the ball a lot. He does hold the ball. Hold on, he does hold the ball and control the tempo, the pace of the game. So he does hold off the ball and then kick it when he wants a guy to get off a shot. It's not like he's moving it early. So here's the thing. To me, it's basically they're both similar, but Luka is doing it at a higher production. They both play a similar type of game, but Luka's just giving you better production as far as his numbers all the way across the board. I think LeBron James going to the finals too has something to do with he was in the East versus Luka being in the West. That is a different conference. So I think if Luka was in the East, we would be having a little bit of different conversation. His first couple of years, he lost to the Clippers because the Clippers were a championship level team that he lost to, and he was going 6 and 7 games with them early on. So I think that if we look at that and say, okay, well, if he was in the East, maybe he would have got further in those first few years. Maybe he would have already been to an NBA Finals. We never know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that to me, it's equal. They both play the same type of basketball. It's just that Luka is giving you better production, and his skill level is better than LeBron's on the offensive side of the ball than LeBron was at 23 years old. I don't think you can deny that, especially with and Chill said his level's been the same. That's bull. When he came in the league, he was only averaging 20. Your level can't be the same if you're averaging 14 more points.
No, it's Luka.
4 years later. Yeah, Luka.
LeBron did depend on
Luka came in the league averaging 21.
Right, Luka came in averaging 21, and Chilltown said he was on the same level. Now that's not true. His trajectory has completely increased because you don't go from averaging 21 to 34 5 years later. That's incredible.
They both came into the league averaging 21. They both came in the league averaging 21.
Right, that's incredible. Though.
One is, and I get it's a different league, so I don't want to focus too much on it. Let me go. Matter of fact, forget that argument, bro. Even the production in the postseason is drastically different. LeBron's accuracy, efficiency, decision-making, playmaking, all of that saw a noticeable drop in the first 3 appearances in the postseason. Luka has not seen a noticeable drop to the level of LeBron at all. And a large reason.
What would the matchup look like, though, Lo? What would the matchup look like?
He just literally faced against the number 1 defense in the league. What are we talking about?
That's that defense. I'm talking about what's the matchup.
So the Clippers are bad defense.
No. I'm not talking about the Clippers. Just like you wasn't talking about Kobe. I'm not talking about the Clippers. I'm talking about what's the matchup look like. 08 LeBron against 2022 Luka. That matchup. What's that matchup look like, Lo? Who gets the better of who? Let's just break it down straight to that. Who gets the better of who?
No,
and let's take the numbers off the table because that's what you're looking at.
I think Luka is a better player at 23 than LeBron was at 23. I think he's just a better player. I think he's a better shot creator. I think both of them are great playmakers.
Yeah.
But I think Luka is a better shot creator, better floor spacer. He can do more offensively. And at that time in LeBron's career, he had not yet entered his defensive prime. So he was not that good of a defender in 07-08. He was
I'm not talking about one-on-one. I'm not talking about one-on-one. I'm talking about team versus team. I'm not talking about one-on-one. So let's say that last year team. So let's go 22 versus 22. Let's say last year's Dallas versus that 07 Cavaliers team that got swept by Tim Duncan and them. I want to see that matchup, 22 versus 22. Those teams versus each team. Who gets the better of who?
Better. LeBron is still better.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Luka is
still better. You got it right, Lo. There you go. There you go, Lo.
Luka's still better. Luka is still better.
Lo, to your point,
I ain't mad at you feeling that way. I ain't mad at you.
I don't think you forget in that. I think you forget in that playoffs when he was 22, LeBron shot like 41% from the field, 28% from three. Like, I don't think you guys remember. I think you're putting all of his stuff together and forgetting at his early ages he was not efficient. That's true. And as a good offensive player as he is, as he became. Luka is that guy now. Can he get better? To Chill's point, I don't know.
Fluent.
Maybe we don't.
Here's the deal breaker.
Luka is playing better offensively than LeBron. I don't.
Here's the deal breaker. If Luka had the same athleticism as LeBron, it wouldn't even be close.
But I don't think he has.
No. I'm saying. Because I think these guys are looking at LeBron's athleticism at that age and counting that against Luka. I'm saying if they both had the same athleticism, it's not even close. Luka, it's not even close.
Well, then you got to give Bron Luka's jump shot then.
And not only that, but what's Luka? 6'8", he's 6'9". So that's like saying that if this dude was 6'10" instead of 6'7", then
but here's the X factor. I can't put Luka's heart in Bron's chest.
Are you saying Luka has more heart than Bron?
All I know is this, bro. That what was that? Was that game 5? That game 5 that LeBron. I'll finish on this. That game 5 that LeBron had in Detroit, one of the greatest games I've ever saw, and I saw that. I saw that live. And I vividly remember me watching that from start to finish, very vividly. It's actually one of the very earlier games I remember watching vividly. I then proceeded to watch this man in game 6 stink it up. And I'm not saying you got to like remove it, but that one game carries that entire postseason run immensely. That one game carries and rearranges the way that a lot of people view LeBron at that time. LeBron was not that complete of a player at that time, bro. He could not shoot. He could not create on his own anything outside of like 3 to 5 feet. He was constantly getting to the rim, and every team in the NBA knew it. Every team knew it. That is not.
If you can't stop him from getting to the rim, why would you stop going to the rim?
I'm not mad at him.
That's all he had. The difference is Luka's significantly more skilled an offensive player at this point in their career.
I feel you on that, Fluent. I do feel you on that, but like Ticket said, if you give Luka LeBron's athleticism,
I'm not giving nobody nothing.
That's the best thing we ever seen. That's why.
Yeah, if
no one gets nothing. You are who you are. I'm not giving you nothing.
Luka with LeBron.
And with that being said, in that argument, I was heavily relying on LeBron's athleticism compared to Luka's athleticism.
That's fine.
I think that changes things.
That's fine.
All right.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.